Hello, this is for you, RGHL. Is there a way we can learn to unify the people, respect and listen, be friendly to each other? Hay un modo como podemos unirnos con la gente, respeto, escuchando, ser amigos, cada uno, talking, singing, loving, caring, helping one another, hablando, cantando, amando, cuidando, ayudando, cada uno, talking, singing, loving, caring, helping one another, hablando, cantando, amando, cuidando, ayudando, cada uno. Here is a song to make the people happy, a peaceful song for everyone to show we're all one family. Aquí está la canción para hacer feliz la gente, canción de paz para demostrar que somos familia.
Good morning and welcome to all you beautiful people on this wonderful Sunday celebration with the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Happy Mother's Day to all you Mother's Day out there, and also welcome to all of those of you who have mothers. I am Greg Gardner, a practitioner with the Rio Grande Center, and I am happy you are with us today. Joining me this morning in the production of this service are Reverend Karen Lindsley, coordinating our online production. Her very first time doing so, I believe. Thank you so much, Reverend Karen. Our music this morning is offered by Amor y Paz, which is Spanish for love and peace. Welcome, Amor y Paz. On High Watch, we have our emeritus practitioners. That's practitioners with 20 years, a minimum of 20 years experience. Emeritus practitioners Julia Washington, Marge Laragoiti, and Merrit Jones. Much gratitude to each of you for your service today. Our invocation and benediction are offered by practitioner chaplain Talia Heron. And now please join me for the reading of our vision and mission statements. Vision, transforming our world with the power of love in action. Mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest selves. And now for our invocation, here is Talia Heron.
Thank you, Greg. I invite you all to close your eyes for the invocation. Please feel free to leave them open if you prefer. So in this moment, we do call forth our highest self, our highest selves, in the knowing and in the presence of that divine one self that is all ourselves. And as we gather here this morning throughout the land, we know that presence, for it is us and it is everyone. That presence we call love, that we call by many names, but the essence is love. And so in that spirit of love that we all are, I invite you and us to drop into that place at the center of our being, that touchstone, where we connect with that divine loving presence. And know that we are this love. This love is us. And so this day that's Mother's Day, which is the day of love, as is Father's Day, is really truly as is each day. I invite you to spend this day as the loving presence that you are, and to give yourself in every way that you may know, and to explore ways that you may not know. Loving yourself. So may this be a day that you devote to loving you in whichever way springs forth for you. For whatever way that is the way of love. So in that spirit of love, I bless this service. I bless everyone here, everyone listening, everyone later to watch and to listen and to be present. For it is all good. It is all love. And so please say with me out loud to yourself and to all of us, and so it is. So it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Talia. Our spiritual reading for today are some words from Joseph Campbell telling us about the hero's journey. He says, the hero's journey begins with the call. One way or another, a guide must come to say, look, you're in sleepy land. Wake. Come on the trip. There's a whole aspect of your consciousness, your being, that's not being touched. So you're home there? Well, there's not enough of you there. And so it starts. Campbell also says, you enter the forest at the darkest point where there is no path. Where there is a way or path, it is someone else's path. You are not on your own path if you follow someone else's way. I'm sorry. If you follow someone else's way, you are not going to realize your potential. And now it's time for some inspirational music from Amor y Paz.
que tú vieras, que tus ojitos jamás hubieran cerrado nunca y estar mirándolo. Amor, amor eterno e inolvidable, tarde o temprano estaré contigo para seguir amándonos.
Yes. Thank you so much, Amor y Paz. Our speaker today is Reverend Kathy Mastroianni, coming to us today from the mountains of Colorado. Reverend Kathy has over 30 years experience in the human services field, including 10 years as executive director of a rural domestic violence shelter and safe pets program in the mountains of Colorado. Her own mother was in a domestic violence situation and ended up committing suicide when Reverend Kathy was only 6 years old, inspiring her to work to end violence and reveal peace in our world. She is co-founder of Rising Up for Peace, a Facebook page and peace movement designed to do just that. She has been a licensed minister through Centers for Spiritual Living for 3 years and has been executive director of the Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation for nearly 7 years, preserving the life-transforming philosophy of Dr. Ernest Holmes and making it available for the world. Reverend Kathy enjoys living on the side of a mountain in Colorado with her critter family. She has a beautiful 21-year-old daughter who is a third-year student at Colorado State University. Reverend Kathy enjoys kirtan chanting, hiking, chocolate as a spiritual practice, and exploring our beautiful world. Her talk this morning is entitled, The Shero's Journey, The Bliss You Seek is Seeking You. Reverend Kathy, welcome to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living.
Hi. Thank you so much, Greg. That was a beautiful introduction, and it is a huge honor to be here today. So as Greg had shared with you, I'm Reverend Kathy Mastroianni, Executive Director of the Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation. And it really is your archives. We're preserving, protecting, and presenting our science of mind philosophy and history for each one of you, everyone who has been touched by this transformative teaching. And today I'm honored. I want to bring like little treasures from the archives for you to touch your life and to deepen your roots into this teaching as we honor Mother's Day, as well as the Shero's Journey, as we're continuing your book study on Dennis Merrit Jones's book, Your Redefining Moments, Becoming Who You Were Meant to Be. So I'd like to start off with, as we talk about Mother's Day, how beautiful that Talia talked about love, the aspect of love. It really is talking about the divine love. And Dr. Ernest Holmes, on Mother's Day in 1951, he did a radio talk that the archives actually has made available to the world. And what he said is, friends, today is Mother's Day, the day when we celebrate the human love, which symbolizes divine protection and tenderness. For just as we are cradled in the arms of Mother's love, so underneath us also are the everlasting arms, the great mother love of the universe, from which we all spring. From which we all spring. And so as we go along this Shero and Hero's journey today, I really want you to feel the arms of the mother, the divine universal mother with us, because we're going to talk about the 3 C's, how we have to be curious about what are our nudges in life, to have clarity of what is ours to do, what is our divine purpose, and then to be courageous enough to take those steps that we need to really live the life of our dreams. And it can be scary to take those steps, but we're going to imagine and know along our journey that the arms of the Divine Mother of the universe are loving and supporting us the entire way. And I'm going to back up just a little bit and just say Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day for all the moms out there. However, and it really is about love. As Greg shared, my mom committed suicide when I was 6 years old. And so I have a different experience of a mother. And I have a feeling that each and every person, when I say Happy Mother's Day, have a different experience too. So this is an opportunity for us to give ourselves love, to honor our mothers. If we are mothers, it's just that divine feminine quality. Because sometimes we're in the role of a mother. And in my situation, after my mom made her transition, my dad became my mom. And then he died when I was 14, and my sister became my mom. So again, there's so many different experiences out there of motherhood. Fur babies, our kitties, our puppies, our critters. Oh my God, just this morning, my fur babies made sure they knew that I was their mom, and to let them out and to care for them and to nurture them. So there's so many experiences of love, of the divine feminine. So I invite you even right now, just put your hands on your heart. I love that Greg welcomed everyone who had a mother, because that's how we got here on this planet. And just to give ourselves some love, to give our mothers love, and just to honor all the moms out there. My friend Reverend Dr. Lloyd Barrett took the word mother and took the first, each letter with a beautiful divine quality. And I invite you to breathe that in. M is for miraculous. O is for optimistic. T is for treasured. H is for honored. E is for enthusiastic. And R is for resourceful. So just breathe in those beautiful qualities of mother. And also, so some of the treasures I want to bring is, this is, if you may or may not know, this is Mother Holmes. This is Ernest Holmes, the founder of our movement's mother. Her name is Anna Columbia Heath Holmes, but she was affectionately known by our movement as Mother Holmes. And actually, when Ernest, so the movement was officially incorporated in 1927, he had his first practitioner class in 1927, and Mother Holmes' name is on that list. She was one of his first practitioners. And what I found in the Science Mind archives, behind a locked door in the bottom of a locked file cabinet, were handwritten notes from Ernest Holmes' mother to him and to his wife Hazel. And Dr. Marilyn Leo just put together this book based on a lot of the history in the archives called Mother of a Mystic. Mother of a Mystic. So I'd like to read. I want you to feel the love of a mother, the mother of our movement, Mother Holmes. This is a birthday letter to Ernest. She says, "Dear son, I have no birthday gift to give you, only a great love and a deep feeling of gratitude for what you have meant to one in my life experience, both spiritual and in every way that could contribute to my comfort and happiness. When my children were young, I thought that if I had to live to be dependent upon them, it'd be the hardest thing that could come to me. But you have given me such thoughtful and generous care that I've been spared that bitter feeling of dependency that so many mothers have experienced. But I've been made happy through your generosity and thoughtfulness in so many ways. It's made me realize of the love bestowed upon all from the great giver of good that comes." I mean, I just love these letters because you can just feel that motherly love. You can feel that motherly love. And so as we start moving towards our journey, I called it today in honor of Mother's Day, instead of the hero's journey, was a Shiro's journey. The Shiro's journey, which is actually a term that's been around since 1892, and it just means a female hero, a female hero. So honoring all the mothers and the heroes and the journey they have gone on. And Mother Holmes actually wrote another little letter to Ernest. And this is about her journey. My dear Hazel and Ernest, another year has passed and I'm still on the pathway of life on this planet. And at this time, I wish to thank you for the many things you have done to make my journey happy and comfortable. In the early years of this journey, the road was a bit rough and there were many hills to climb. But you did many things, Ernest, to help level those hills and straighten those paths. That I was eased of my burdens. You may have forgotten, but I have not. And when you gave me the privilege of going with you for a time, I was very happy and felt like a new person. She was very happy and felt like a new person. So even Mother Holmes had experienced this journey. And I love when Greg was talking about the quote from Joseph Campbell. So the hero's journey, and again, it could be for men or women, the Shiro or hero's journey. We leave the safety of the castle, the known, and we venture into the world, the unknown. And then we confront whatever stands between us and our purpose for being. And then we return a changed person. Dennis Merrit Jones also says, you'll have a chance to encounter every dragon, every fear that lives within the darkest caverns of your mind that wants to keep your life small and safe. It's also said that, so when we're in our comfort level is this tiny little circle around us and the magic happens out there. The magic happens out there. So the invitation this day as we go along this Shiro and hero's journey is to be curious, to get our clarity, and then to have the courage to move forward with knowing the divine presence of love is absolutely loving and supporting the entire journey. And the neat thing about being in community, being at a center for spiritual living like Rio Grande, is you have the support of a loving community. And I know that your community is on an interesting journey right now, a journey where you're venturing from the known to the unknown. You get to, I bet lots of different fears are going to come up. And you have the chance and the opportunity to be together, to lovingly support as you see that great vision, the great vision for your next spiritual leader. And again, I've just so enjoyed your community. I've visited through the Vista conference. I've watched some services. And what I've seen is you have a fantastic music team. Oh my gosh, I love Amor y Paz. How beautiful. Your practitioners have a beautiful depth and understanding of the principles of science of mind and share it with such beauty and sacredness. And you're so active. You do so much out in the world. I love your outreach ministry. You have an incredible community. And so now is your opportunity to vision and get to be curious, to get clear on your next evolution. Who is your authentic selves? And then from there, have the courage as you love and support each other and move forward. So an example of this journey is in the book with Dr. Dennis Merrit Jones. He talks about how when he was in college, he was a marketing major. His dad was in marketing. He was in marketing. It was just one of those assumptions in life that that's just what you do. That's what you do. But there was something missing. There was something nagging at him, something nudging him. He just wasn't as happy as he could be. And in a philosophy class, they talked about Joseph Campbell and his hero's journey, and they talked about following your bliss. And this is the quote from Joseph Campbell, what that bliss is. The way to find out about your happiness is to keep your mind on those moments when you feel the most happy, when you're really happy, when you're deeply happy. So you stay with it no matter what people tell you. This is what I call following your bliss. So you stay with that. And again, I loved Greg's quote when he started out that your path is no path. And so what Dennis was doing is he was following his father's path, but it wasn't his path. And what he discovered was he was sitting on the lawn, he was playing his guitar, he was singing with his music major friends. He found this joy, this bliss. And it was his awakening that this is his bliss, was music. His passion, his authentic self was music. He loved it so much. So that was the clarity. But then he had to have the courage to tell his dad, yo, dad, I'm not going to be a marketing major. I have to follow my bliss. And when he breathed in and he had the courage and talked to his dad said, that's awesome. I so love and support you. You don't have to follow my path. Follow your path. Follow your bliss. And a big part of following our bliss. And so he did. And so Dennis followed his bliss and had like 10 years of joy and happiness following his music career. And then he became a Center for Spiritual Living minister. And so our paths switch and change. But it's always that inner knowing and that listening and having that courage to take those steps. And so to do that, I invite you, where in your life are you having this yearning, this urging, you're feeling the nudges of the universe to do something maybe different? Maybe you feel stuck somewhere in your life. Maybe you're just not really happy in your career. It could be a relationship. It could be anything. The universe kind of gives us nudges, but those nudges do get louder, by the way. And I really have a feeling that all of you have experienced this at some point in your life. So for the C, for curiosity, we notice what our natural gifts and talents are and what bring us joy. For clarity, we notice those nudges and we get that clarity. What is our bliss? What is our bliss? And then from that clarity, magic happens. Just like for Dennis, when he got that clarity that music was his passion. Oh my God, magic, all the doors, the portals open. But then we have to have the courage. We can't just do it. We have to have the courage to take dynamic action, trusting the universe will open the portals and the doors along the way. So my Shiro's journey was when I was, it was in 2006 is when I found this teaching. And it really was a pivotal point in my life. Before that, I was in a very unhealthy relationship. I was depressed, suicidal talks in my mind. Like my mom, as we shared, had committed suicide. Good enough for her. I can do it too. But I had this beautiful daughter. Speaking of Mother's Day, who I love more than anything. She kept me going. And so God just kind of nudged me. I was curious. God, there has to be something more in life. And then I found Mile High Church and I found the Centers for Spiritual Living, this teaching. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was in class. I was driving down to Science of Mind 2 class. And I was driving down the mountain. I live about 45 minutes away. And I'm singing, should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? And I said, God, I need a sign so clear that even I can recognize it. I can know what to do with this relationship where I'm so unhappy. So I have a practitioner session, I go to class, I meet with my prayer partner who happens to run a nonprofit to help single women who are going through divorce. Isn't God amazing as the portals started to open? And then as I was driving home that night, it's like 10 o'clock at night, it's really dark, and I'm going down, again on Highway 6. There's a car in front of me, and it had a license plate that was illuminated. And all it said was, go, go. I love a clear sign. So I got my clarity. And in my next conversation with my then husband, I had this like experience where I was just like stepping back and doing that witnessing thing and watch. I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to have a divorce. I need to do it. And so I had the courage to say something and to take dynamic action. And I had to have that trust and faith that God was going to catch me and my daughter along this journey. I love the analogy of, they say, when you're at the precipice of all you know, you're at the edge of this cliff and there's nowhere else to go except into the open, and you have to jump. One of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to be caught or you're going to learn how to fly. And I learned how to fly. And so I jumped in. So we went through the divorce. 14 years ago now, we separated. And here we went from 2 nice incomes down to 1 income. And then I went through practitioner studies. Actually, all that was happening during my studies. And God just kept guiding me the whole way. And at one point, I was in a teaching assistant for a class, and it was with Reverend Cynthia James. And boy, that woman can pray. And we're holding hands. And she said, "What's your prayer?" I said, "I want to deepen into spirit." And she prayed a prayer. And within 24 hours, I lost the job I did have. So it's just, oh my God, everything's falling away. Everything. And I was taught to fly. God kept us going. Actually, this house I'm in is thanks to this. God just kept holding me and guiding me. And then at another time, I got clarity that I wanted to be a minister. I wanted to be a minister. Again, that clarity. And within 24 hours, I got a phone call inviting me to interview to be director of the Science Mind Archives and Library Foundation. I thought I said minister. you know, this is how it works, right? The portals are opening, and we have to trust and be courageous and have faith and take steps. And then I discovered I'm in the middle of all the teaching of science of mind. I'm in the wisdom center of our universe. It was like a kid in a spiritual candy store that guided me along my ministerial journey. I went through school at the archives, and now I'm a minister in the archives. And yes, I do hang with Ernest Holmes every day. What a blessing. So that's my Shiro's journey along this thing called life, how I got to be here today, and how I am so passionate about this teaching and wanting to share it with you. And encourage you to have the curiosity when you're stuck. To have the curiosity, say, gosh, what could be more? What are my natural gifts and talents? To have the clarity to say, wow, this is what I love. I love this. This brings my soul joy. And then to have the courage to say yes, to go down that path, to face your fears, knowing you have a loving community and there's a loving God supporting you the entire way. And that's the same with Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living along your journey, to have that faith and trust, to be your authentic self, to shine. No, you are here to shine greatly, to change and transform lives by being this loving presence in the world. So grateful for your community. So I'd like to end today with how I started, really. Ernest Holmes, he had a meditation in his talk called The Miracle of Motherly Love. So I invite you to go within. Oh, to take a sacred breath, knowing that we have activated this transformative lesson for your Shiro or hero's journey. And what Dr. Holmes says is, let us take as our thought for our meditation today, if any man can be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are made new. As we turn to the present, which is the divine Father and Mother of us, let us realize we are uniting our thought with the creative power that is back of all things. As we think of this divine gate of power as our mother and father, which is in heaven, let us think of this presence as being within us, as well as around us, as we say together, I know I am one with this divine presence. I know that I am one with the law of good. I am making my mind open and receptive to the divine spirits, to its presence and its guidance. I'm opening my mind to the influx of divine ideas. There is something within me that receives these ideas and acts upon them intelligently. I am led and guided and directed in everything I do. I am inspired to think new thoughts, to receive new ideas, and to enter into a larger experience. I expect all this to happen. I permit it to happen. Realizing that I'm rooted in pure spirit from which I draw my life. I know that there is a perfect pattern of my physical body in this divine spirit. I know that every function and every action of my physical body is animated by this divine pattern, sustained by it, kept in continual health and well-being. Knowing that God is in everyone, the one Father and the one eternal Mother of us all. I recognize the Spirit in everyone I meet. Therefore, I am one with all people, and all people are one with me. Recognizing the same presence of all people in all nature, I feel myself to be one with God's world, one with all God's people, overall, through all, and in all. Oh, so breathing in that wisdom of Dr. Holmes, I just know that this is the truth for every person here, every person being touched and transformed by this talk, every person who has that clarity, who has that curiosity, and now has the courage to move forward, knowing that God is with each one of us. God is supporting and loving and guiding, and that this journey unfolds in magical, amazing, and beautiful and inspiring ways. The portals continue to open. And in the end, there's joy, and we truly find the bliss that is seeking us. And so it is.
And so it is. And so it is. Oh my. Thank you so much, Reverend Kathy, for your beautiful, inspiring message and prayer this morning. Now it's time to share our abundance. There are multiple ways to give, scrolling across the screen now. Thank you for all you can share. And please say the giving affirmation with me. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessing. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously. And so it is. And now, some more music. Hello? And now, some more music from Amor. There we go. Thank you once again, Amor y Paz, for your contributions to our service this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, a time to bless our offerings. I am so grateful for the kind generosity expressed in these offerings today. Offerings of time and talent and treasure to help this Center for Spiritual Living move forward, to deliver its message to the world of love and peace and kindness. So with deep, deep gratitude, I bless each of these offerings and know that their benefit flows out into the world. Their gifts from each of us flow into the world and make it a better place. So knowing that all is well, I bless these offerings, release these words into the universe that only says, yes, my beloved, yes, my beloved, it is as you say. All is well, and so it is. Amen. And now, here is Dr. Norm Dawson with today's announcements.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Reverend Kathy, for sharing a lovely message, The Shero's Journey. Thanks for joining us for the announcements of upcoming possibilities and opening portals. If you have something you want to share in the weekly newsletter or to be put in the announcement for Sunday, that deadline is Tuesday at noon, and you can submit your announcements to announcements@rgcsl.org. The email that goes out every week has more complete information, but here are the highlights of the announcements and possibilities coming up this week. Hey, we're going to have a grand opening or grand reopening, however you want to say that here. And we're pleased to let you know that's going to be on the last Sunday of June. That's June 27th. And we'll be conducting hybrid services. So that means we're going to have some people in the sanctuary, and we're going to be streaming the other services for people who can't come in person. So we're going to follow the COVID protocols that are in existence at that time and make sure we have the equipment and the people necessary to ensure a smooth opening. So join us to participate, and we're looking for a few good people to volunteer because, as Reverend Kathy said, this is a community, a loving community, and we all need to come together and support the opening, and we need a lot of volunteers to help out on Sundays with operating the cameras, streaming the service and the computer, operating the soundboard and all that kind of good stuff. So the training will be provided for all these things. So be sure that you contact Annette Martinez at her email and let her know that you're willing to volunteer. And in conjunction with the opening, we're going to have Reverend Karen. She'll be here speaking and for that weekend, and she'll even be at the center on the Friday before to meet and greet. So this ought to be a good, great, wonderful weekend to finish up June. Okay, the Reach Out team and Center for Hope and Healing, they sponsor a workday service project, and that's going to be coming up. Well, that's already happened, so I'm just going to skip that one right out of there because they did a job over at cleanup on Sunday. That was yesterday. Skip. Bye-bye. Forget that. Okay. Monday morning meditation is now Monday midday meditation. That's being held on Zoom with Gwyneth Welch. So if you send her an email, she'll send you a reminder. Okay, the update on the new minister. The team is still gathering all that information, putting it all together to attract the new permanent minister, and they're going through a really very, very informative, thorough, formal co-creation process to make sure that this transition takes place and is very successful. The Compassion Ministries team is, each week they're highlighting a different program from the resource library, and we have chaplains Carmela and Tilia. They're available for spiritual support. So more information about that in the newsletter. We also need some people to come up with bright ideas. So we would like for your bright idea to share with the community here. So be sure you get that bright idea into the center via information or however you want to contact them, as mentioned in the newsletter. We're still having small groups meeting at the center under COVID guidelines, so contact Carmela about that and find out which groups are meeting here at the center. As you know, during the survey, a lot of people desired variety in our Sunday music. So if you sing or play an instrument, what other talents you want to share, be sure that you let Reverend Karen know about that. Now, I was going to volunteer a sample song, but my wife warned me that that would not be with a very blissful ending, so I'm not going to do that, unfortunately. Probably fortunately. So in a few minutes after the benediction from Chaplain Tilia Hiron, we will meet in the Zoom room post-service, a fellowship meeting. And by the way, that is now closed caption, and everyone is welcome to this. So thank you for joining us today for Sunday morning announcements.
Thank you, Dr. Norm. So now, as we prepare to leave the service, I invite you again to close your eyes as you sink once more into that center of your being that you know is pure love. And when you leave here, to remember to look all about you, to see all the ways that love shows up for you in all possibilities, knowing that love is always here for you, just waiting to be recognized. Because once it is recognized, it can truly give to you fully. For this is a universe and a place of love. So open your hearts and fill your days with love so bright and so giving. And so with this, we close this service. I say thank you to all who are here. And so it is.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself,